So first you have open tokens, which are our governance token, and they have a fixed supply, which is 100 million. They're primarily on ETH. However, what you can do is you can use bridges and you can move it to various other networks. So we did move open tokens to BSC, first using the Burger Swap bridge. And that's how we ended up with BOpen. So the premise is very simple. You lock open here and Burger Swap then gives you BOpen tokens, and it goes vice versa as well. But as Burger Swap bridge turned to be quite unreliable, and it didn't really work as expected. It does work, but you have transactions getting stuck, etc. So instead, now we have a new solution, which is from P network. They're a bit like REN, but tend to move a bit faster. And you have via P network, we can go to POpen, and we are trying to transition BOpen out, and we have a converter setup which allows one-to-one swap from BOpen to POpen. Fundamentally, BOpen, POpen, they're all the same token, which means that they should all carry the same price generally across networks. We are also intending to move open tokens to other networks. Matic is likely to be next, so we might have an M open. We're going to see if P network allows us to set up a bridge, or it might be via some other bridge. So I'm just going to use something called as a bridge. We'll see what Matic solutions are, and we'll have an M open. We are also likely to do it on Solana eventually. Solana is not EVM compatible as of now, but eventually it will be. So we might have an S open. So one way or another, open plus B open plus B open plus M open plus S open, they will always be equal to 100 million. It can't be more than that. Now, beyond that, from a technology standpoint, what we have is we have a fork of Compound. And we have done something interesting. On the supply side, we are allowing to supply WBNB, Cake, and other on-chain assets. And this is done via a grant to a third party called OCP. They are running the fork, but the design is ours. So the idea is to first have on-chain assets, and later on we are going to have these are on-chain and they're liquid, and later on we'll have off-chain liquid, which is Tesla, Apple, Facebook, tokenized stock. Excuse me. And then eventually receivables, invoices, and then eventually we'll have real estate, tokenized real estate. So that's our game plan. So this will be all supplied as collateral, and you can borrow a stable coin against it. So we have our own stable coin, which is USDO. You can borrow against it. Now, the architecture looks like MakerDAO, but it is actually a fork of Compound. So the design looks like Maker, but it is actually a fork of Compound. And how have we done it? Is USDO is actually not minted via this fork. USDO is minted by nodes of OpenDAO. So OpenDAO holders can just mint USDO, and the only thing which you can do is you can supply USDO to this fork of Compound. All of these tokens have some collateral factor. Whereas the collateral factor for USDO is 0, which means you can't really borrow against it. And USDO can be supplied to this fork of Compound, which means that people can supply all these other assets and borrow USDO against it. Now, what this actually does is, okay, so once we have this, the price of USDO on our system is always $1. So we are going to obviously have LP pools against other stables. So there will be in USDT, USDC. So right now there is a LP on something called as VPEG swap. This will most likely change. This is a fork of Curve on BSC. This will be incentivized in due course. But point is, people should be able to swap between USDO and this thing. Now, from time to time, the this will be close to 1, but sometimes it will be greater than or equal to 1. But on our platform, on the Compound fork, the price of USDO will always be 1. What that means is if USDO is trading below, then you can buy it from the market and use it to use it on the Compound fork. Now, the reality is USDO cannot be redeemed. So if you mint, if these people mint, okay, the people who supply the collateral mint the tokens, mint USDO, by mint the correct term is borrow. Then only they can buy it from the market and then they can repay their debt. But people who did not mint, what they can do is from time to time you can liquidate. So any positions in which the collateral factor has gone out of whack, you can redeem your USDO by paying down the debt. Especially if it is below peg, because on our system it is always at $1, and that allows you to make profit. We will also adjust the interest rates. So the OpenDAO also adjusts the interest rates for USDO, which means that you can, the OpenDAO can sort of regulate the supply of USDO on the market. So especially if it goes below the market, then we can reduce the supply by increasing the interest rates. And if it's trading above, then we can increase the supply by reducing the interest rates and vice versa. Now, what we can actually do is we can mint this USDO. Typically, this is minted on BSC because that's on BSC. But OpenDAO can bridge USDO to various networks like Matic, ETH, of course, Solana, via these things, via the bridge networks like P network or any other bridge solution which is there. And the contract addresses for, so we can actually have a minter compound 4 on each of these systems, and they can allow people to borrow USDO. But if you had USDO on any other network, you can bridge it and it would have the same result, because essentially the minting does not happen at the compound 4. We first mint it and then we supply, which means that we can just have the same contract address across all the different systems, different chains which are out there, which is a very ingenious design. Now, the other interesting thing is we can not only have USDO, but we also can do other things. We already have Euro and USDO. It's fundamentally a cent is a cent. We can mint any number of cents. So unlike MakerDAO, we can do multiple cents. Collateral. So people can take whatever currency they want. Now, obviously, we have to ensure the peg between this, and that can be again done via the interest rates, demand and supply. But beyond that, we have designs to first make sure that these things are used in the real world. So if you want to buy a car, buy property, then you should be able to do so using USDO or any of your other country-specific stablecoins. And separately, we also are planning to build a trading solution, which is between the currencies, so that you can trade between USDO to AUDO, Euro, etc. The design for this is not yet formed up, but we're probably looking at a few different solutions: curve, synthetics, and actually perp.fi as well. This portion we'll decide later on. So that's the overall technology architecture.